Hello and welcome to D&D with High School Students presents the B Team. I am here with Jennie and Jordan. Once again, we resume. You guys had a long rest. We were just talking off camera about a long rest. That's a thing that sometimes happens when people need to recuperate and regain health and spells. So, however, during the night, an awkward and strange thing happened. Summarize what happened, Jennie. Towards the end of the shift that you were taking on watch.
Jordan was taking the shift. Capella was fast asleep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Do you want me to explain it?
Yes.
Okay.
You summarize what happened with you.
Okay, so I was taking watch, and like 4 hours went by, nothing happened, and then all of a sudden, dawn came up, but there wasn't any noises being made. It was just silent.
Yes.
So then I woke Capella up and said, "Hey, why is it so quiet?"
I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the tears started,
It got very hot in
Yes.
my pocket.
and we
Booked
run and gun.
Yes. You packed up your bedrolls and blankets and items. You cleaned up the camp as best as you could. You got on your horses and off you went. So you got an early morning start, and you traveled for the first several hours. 3 hours go by, no problems on the road. You encounter, different people. Seems to be the normal pace of traffic. And by midday, you feel like you've gotten to a point far enough west of the main road to the capital that you could now begin your cross-country trek going northeast towards Kadimki-Kala. Just for the sake of fun, both of you make a survival check just to make sure that you're kind of on the right path.
23.
That'll do it. You're like, yes, judging by the sun's position and that mountain that we just passed and the nearby bamboo grove, I'm estimating that we should make a turn to the north by northwest west right now in going 30 degrees. Like, you're precise. You're like, that's the way. So you kind of lead the way forward, and you guys are making some good pace. Even though it's off-road, it's pretty open. For another hour or so, you guys start to get into more of a hilly land now. There are, in fact, some like little streams that you cross. Nothing big, like nothing where you need a bridge, but you just, go across the stream. You pass by a few farms, but then after about an hour more of travel, you're kind of in the wild. And there's more trees, there's more like tall grass areas, some streams. And you travel pretty uneventfully for another hour, and it's about mid-afternoon. You, however, need to stop. Just quite simply, you've been traveling pretty much nonstop. So you make a quick pit stop. You eat some rations. The horses drink some water from a nice, cool stream. You guys sit in the shade of a tree. And unless there's anything else you want to do, you can proceed with your travels.
Let's proceed. Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay. All right, you keep going. You get back on the horses, you travel a little bit further, and let's see, who's going to make today's random roll? Jordan, you get to make the random percentile roll.
Okay, this has gone really well every other time I've made this roll. 24.
There you go. You know what? Another 2 hours goes by. It's like 4 in the afternoon. The sun's kind of, chilled out a little bit. You make another 2 hours with no problem whatsoever. Occasionally, you'll see, evidence of a small like camp or other evidence that people traveled through this area, but nothing that would disturb you or alarm you. You come across at one point like a small farm, and you see like people out working and stuff. You guys kind of pass by. They don't seem disturbed by you. They kind of just like pause what they're doing and look at you, and like a kid at the farm waves, and then they just go back to what they're doing once you pass by. All right, Jennie, it's your turn to make a percentile roll.
Are these right?
Is that your, yeah.
Okay. 81.
81. Okay. Another 2 hours goes by, and you guys are well on your way, cutting across land, making good time. and you notice that like up ahead, amidst the sparse trees and some hills and stuff, you see like a small fire, like a campfire, and it's kind of like right in the direction you're going in. It's a couple 100 yards off.
Yeah. I think we should just approach it as usual until we see anything more.
Okay. I'll just keep going.
Okay. Well, basically, you arrive in this area. There's sparse trees, little hills and stuff. There's a couple little creeks, little streams. You guys are kind of trotting forward at a casual pace, and you notice a small camp, some travelers. Looks like a family, and there are a couple kids, there are a couple tents, and there's a small fire, and they're cooking some food, and there's a man chopping wood and stacking wood near the fire. And you notice like one of the ladies looks over and sees you, and she like goes over to one of the men, and she's like, psh, 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 and the man turns and he's like, "Hello, travelers, well met."
Hello.
Good morrow.
He's like, do you wish to join us? We were just going to sit down and fix a meal. We have plenty of provisions and some fresh food, and you're welcome to join us. You see a couple little kids playing, and kind of like an older grandmother lady too.
I'll say, we've been on the road for a while. We can probably stop.
Yes, we'll take you up on your kind offer.
Well met. My name is Medvin. This is my family. He's like, this is my mother and my wife and my brother John, and these are the children. And so he kind of introduces you to everybody. And you find a place to tether up the horses, like in one of the nearby trees and stuff. So you guys kind of sit down, and he's like, "Now, who are you?"
I go by Capella, and this is my traveling companion, Area.
Greetings. Well met. Come here, have a seat. There's, he gestures to this like log that maybe looks like it was from a fallen tree that they kind of rolled over, so you can kind of sit there. And there's a big pot now of like stew with some vegetables and some meat, and it smells really good because you guys have been eating like trail rations for a while. And then the brother comes over and offers for you guys to sit down, and he brings some ale, gives you guys like a cup of ale, and you guys are kind of all gathered around. So everybody, gets a bowl of this stew, and they hand out stuff to you guys and ale and stuff, and they're kind of drinking and talking. And so in the course of the conversation, Medvin's like, "So we are traveling. Actually, we're headed up to the monastery at Kadimki Kala. My brother is going to be joining the monastery." And he gestures to his brother, the guy in the purple robe, and his brother nods, and he's like, "Yes, my youngest brother is finally going to be doing something honorable." Ha ha ha. They laugh and stuff.
How coincidental. We're also headed up towards Kadimki Kala on a business trip.
Ah, are you then? Are you going to the keep? You look like warrior types. Perhaps are you going to the keep there?
Yes.
Signing up for the militia?
Just business. We're just around that area
Ah,
for the
well,
time being.
well, excellent. You're in good company then. We haven't seen many travelers off the road, but we heard, from other travelers that the main road north and south had some Quotient barbarian raids within the last few months. It seems like those nomads have been traveling around quite a bit and raiding smaller parties and caravans and hamlets and whatnot. But and then at that point, his wife interrupts, and she's like, "Well, that was until His Holiness rode out and met the barbarian horde before they could make it to the capital. You heard about that, didn't you?"
No, I can't say.
Oh,
that
it was a great story. Apparently, His Holiness's niece was attending the summer wine festival a month ago at the in Dariolar Shari in the south, and she was on her way back to the capital, and her traveling caravan was raided by Quotient barbarians, and they were fortunate enough to make it back to the capital just in time to warn His Holiness. And at once he gathered up the Mukadas Jangchilar, and they rode out and defeated, they broke the horde. And everybody's like, cheers to them. Whew. Thank the gods, and especially Vusek for His Holiness.
How long ago was that? Do you know?
Oh, it was, well, I would suppose it was about 3 weeks ago.
Well, we've been on the road for a while, so I can't say we've heard news towards the capital.
Yes, I think that His Holiness was able to disperse the horde, but there's always some straggler clans from the Quotient who still kind of roam and raid, but we fortunately haven't run into any such opponents. Although if we did, my older brother John would deal with them, wouldn't you, John? And John just looks over and nods and splits another chunk of wood. He's like a strong guy. He's got a nice axe. You notice that the rest of them are not very well armed. Like you see, other than John's axe, nobody has weaponry. So after the meal, Medvin, is helping his wife gather the kids, and they go into the small tent. They go into the small tent. I'll just put them there. Small tent. Lay down. Get in there. So the rest of them, including the old lady, the old lady goes to the small tent too. I don't know if I can fit her in there. Close enough. So the rest of them kind of gather around the fire. John puts his axe down, and he's got a nice small stack of wood. Every once in a while he feeds the fire, and they pour out more ale and whatnot. And they're like, "So you've been on the road? What have any news from across Kabul Kailash? Anything to look out for? Anything of interest?"
Not too much. It's been pretty quiet. There was a village we came across not too long ago that was destroyed. We don't know.
In what direction? Where was that?
It was more south and more east than here. Not directly on the main road, but it seems whoever did it just disappeared, so I don't think there's too much to worry about right now.
It can be dangerous when you're further out from anywhere that would have a militia or any kind of assistance. Well, we hope that when we get to Kadimki Kala, we'll be able to find some good, honest work. We have to earn some money there for a little bit, just so that we have enough to make it back once we drop our brother off there at the monastery.
Where do you come from?
Oh, we're just from the small village of Kanan. It's about 30 miles north of Dariolar Shari. Most of what we do there is labor. We do quite a bit of lumber work and kind of a variety of different farm work. But most of the seasonal work is done now, especially since the big harvest. So we'll have to earn some money. I've heard that there are mines actually up by Kadimki Kala where someone can get an honest day's work, and hopefully we'll be able to get some work there and earn enough money to get what we need to make the trip back home.
How long have you been traveling for?
Oh, for this trip, just a day. We're not that far, but hopefully, if we stay in Kadimki Kala for a few weeks or maybe even a couple months and get some work, we can save up enough money to live comfortably for a little bit, and then once the farm work starts back up back home, we'll head home. But that's just kind of how our life is. It's just easier to earn money when you can go to the places that you need to earn the money versus having to stay in one place and not having any work.
Agreed.
Both of you make perception rolls.
13.
6.
You as like the night begins to fall, you notice that like the air cools off a little bit. There's a little bit more of a breeze, and you kind of smell something on the breeze. Something like stinky, a little bit foul.
I'll just look at you and be like, do you smell that?
Can't say that I do.
Something smells weird around here, like rotten. I'll look at everyone else and I'll ask them if they smell anything.
No. Oh, so the oldest brother, John, looks up and he's like, I do. It's like smells like like an outhouse. He stands up and he kind of like looks around. It's dark at this point, so you notice that like he takes like one of the branches that's in the fire and kind of like lifts it up from the part that's sticking out and uses it as a torch. He walks over to where his axe was sitting in a piece of wood and he holds the torch and he pulls the axe out. He's looking around.
I'll get up and look around too.
How far out do you look? So do you have dark vision?
No,
Okay.
you do.
So you can see within like 30 feet of where your camp is, just from the the fire, and he's holding up a torch. But you don't see anything in the immediate area.
Yeah.
You can see a little bit further out. And from your perspective, even from, let's say this is 60 feet out, so around the circumference of the table, you don't see anything. Do you walk like out further? Or do you guys like, what do you do?
Can I pick up a branch to use as a little torch?
Sure.
Okay.
So let's approach further this way.
Do you want to split up or stay together?
Stay together.
Okay. I'll let them know that we're just gonna look off this way.
Okay. John actually decides that he's going to come with you guys, so he has his axe and a torch.
And then I'll just tell the people staying to just keep an eye on the tents.
Okay. You see that they're a little bit like worried, so they each grab like torches, and they're kind of they kind of spread out a little more. So like he goes with you, Medvin goes here, and the youngest brother goes here, and they just kind of have
I'll
torches.
stay just a little bit behind, but not too far behind.
Okay.
Just
Make another perception check.
16.
15.
You both kind of see a little bit of movement from the second hill over there, kind of behind the biggest tree. There's like a little rustle. You don't know if it's like an animal or something that maybe you spooked, but you kind of notice in the brush surrounding the tree that there's a little bit of a rustle.
I want to approach carefully, because it's this tree, right?
Mm-hmm.
I want to approach carefully from there, but not straight on. When I go like...
Okay, so
around.
move your mini to the first position you want to move to.
Like here.
I'll just stay like maybe like 10, like 5 feet behind you.
Okay. John stays back, and he kind of holds his position with the torch and the axe.
And then we're going to continue up.
All right, make stealth rolls.
5.
5.
Yes.
You see a much bigger movement. As you start to circle around that tree, something bigger gets up from behind the tree. And it's time for initiative. And I rolled a 7, which isn't good.
Natural 20.
Oh,
12.
well, Jordan. It appears that you will be starting off this battle. So Jenny, take this large creature and put it behind the tree.
Heck yeah.
Is that you? That was you.
So you see like
Dad?
coming up from behind the bushes, and there's like twigs and bushes and branches on it. It is like this big troll, and it's holding a rock. and it's looking like it's like leaning back to throw the rock. And you see this happening. You go first.
Okay, I already know what time it is. Spell time. I'm going to cast. Hold on. I pulled this up, I think. Okay, I'm gonna cast, as an action, I'm gonna cast Aid on the both of us, so we get an extra 5 hit points.
Okay.
And then,
Now, do you move,
yes.
or do you have any bonus action?
For bonus action, I will. Well, I'm just gonna move.
Okay. So you
Up
got 30
against
feet is
each-
about a pencil worth. That's
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna just duck behind this.
okay. So that
for
gives
right
you
now.
about like half cover. So basically
Yeah.
you're kind of using the tree and the bushes for half cover. Okay. Jenny, it's your turn.
I think. I don't think I really have any actions that I can do right now that can be helpful, but I do want to also like duck for cover to get like kneeling down here.
Okay. You get down, and the troll throws a rock and misses. This rock lands in the dirt near you guys, like where you were standing before you moved, and just rolls past. And then the troll's going to move a whole pencil forward towards you.
Okay, grab that pencil.
And as he's moving, he sweeps down and grabs a tree branch, and he starts. Okay, back to you, Jordan.
Alright. Bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon,
Mm-hmm.
and my giant warhammer comes out.
I have a spiritual weapon
You do.
I should 3D print
somewhere.
Bet.
I have a spiritual weapon.
Just go
Well, let's see. That's a bat.
Mhm.
That's a sprite. That's some other little fine demon thing. The hell. That's an eagle. Here, you can use this little flying bat thing, baby, weird demon,
Okay.
as your spiritual weapon.
Wow. We love it. Alright, so I'm gonna cast it. How far ahead of me is he?
He's like,
He's within 30.
yeah.
Okay. Can I cast it behind him or is that too far?
You can.
Okay, so
I'll
I'm gonna
let that
cast it
fly.
behind him. And then, as an action, I'm just gonna run up straight in front of him. I'm gonna hit him with my hammer.
Okay.
21.
Hit.
13.
Nice.
So random question.
Okay.
When you roll for that, do you add like this one with one thing?
Yes.
So, you hit him literally as hard as you can. Minus a crit, but literally as hard as you can. Does your magic spirit weapon get to attack this round?
No, next round.
Next round. So you cast it. Okay. So you're good. Jenny, you're up.
All right.
You notice Arya's mumbles something and you see like a glimmering thing appear behind the troll, and then she runs up and just hammers.
Yeah. So I want to run up, but I'm gonna
Flank it?
Yeah, I want to flank it
Okay.
from here.
So you get up to the side and attack.
So that's
Do you have advantage when you're flanking?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking.
so
I play with
if you
it.
add that, then that's 9, right?
Yes.
So you roll 2d20, you take the higher of the two.
There you go.
9 or 7. So let's just go with the 9. So it's 9.
Total?
Yeah.
Miss. It's going to attack you now, Jenny. It misses. It misses again. But wait. It hits.
Uh-oh.
You take 10 damage. So it swings with its big old tree branch and missed and the tree branch went flying, but then it swung with its claws, and one of the claws strikes you.
All right, my turn.
Top of the order.
All right.
Don't I get 2 actions at 5th level? Or is
Yeah.
that-
You're a paladin. No, you're a fighter.
So did you attack?
get a second
you
attack.
Attack
Oh,
again?
but I did. Okay.
So remember that next time you get both
Yeah.
of your attacks.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll let you. I'll retcon that. Go ahead, and you still get advantage.
So that's 17
That would hit.
or 9 plus 6.
Okay.
Okay.
So the
Well,
17 will hit.
So then 1d8 plus 5. 7 plus 5.
12. Good. Okay.
Right.
Then it attacked you. Top of the order.
Okay, top of the order. I'm just gonna swing at it one more time with my warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
19,
Hit.
13,
Well done.
and then
Spirit weapon.
spirit weapon is going to swing at it. 19,
Hit.
and 1d8. That's 12.
Okay. Jenny, you go.
Okay, do I still have advantage?
You do, as long as you're flanking him.
So 8 or 7.
Wait, but did you add your thing?
What's your to hit bonus?
Oh yeah, it's plus 6.
Okay, so the 8 will hit.
Okay.
So that's your first attack. Roll damage.
7 plus 5.
12. Okay. Roll your second attack with advantage.
22.
Yep, hit. Roll the d20 again, because if you get a nat, you want to take that.
And then that's
Okay,
just
so either way, it's a hit. Roll damage.
8 plus 5.
13. 25 and 25 and 25 is 75. Except before the troll attacks, John starts running forward. So he's going to move, I'll double move him. So do 2 pencils to get him up to the ridge on the other side of the troll. He's going to, yeah, I don't know if he'll make it, but he gets close.
Here,
And
I'll
he's
put the
like,
2 pencils.
It's like, I'm coming, friends. And he's got his
Yeah,
torch in one
definitely.
hand
Gets
and his
first.
axe in the other.
Okay.
All right, now the troll attacks. 1 hit, 2 hits. Jordan, you'll be recipient of hit number 1. For a whopping 7 points of damage. Jenny, you will be the recipient of, wow, 7 damage. You guys are very lucky that you could be dead. All right, end of that turn.
All right.
You see, even though you guys have been slamming this troll, it seems like every, 6 to 7 seconds, he like gets more fierce and strong. You're wounding him, but like you're like, he should be dead right now, or almost dead, and he doesn't seem as almost dead as you would have hoped.
Okay.
Top of the order.
All right. I will, as an action, I will back up like 5 feet. And then I'm going to cast Sacred Flame right at his face.
Is Sacred Flame really
It's-
flame, or is it radiant damage?
I don't know. It says,
Let's look it up in the player's handbook. Beep, 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 bum, bum,
if I'm
bum.
correct, it says something about flame-like radiance, but I'm not sure if it's the
I think
same
it's
thing.
flame-like radiance, but not actual flame.
Yeah, I'm
But
not-
let's look it up, because otherwise people on the internet will be mad if we did this wrong. And they'll be like, damn it, Bill, why do you not know the rules? Flame-like radiance. Radiant damage, yeah, so it's not actual fire damage, but still,
Yeah, we're still
okay.
going to go for it. So he has to make a dex save.
Which he'll probably not do a great job of, because trolls.
Yes, true.
Nope. I'm
Alright.
sure your DC's higher than 9, right? Yeah.
It's 14.
He fails.
Okay.
So he's going to take how much radiant damage?
2d8. Ready? 2. It's going to take 4.
Okay.
And then the spiritual weapon's going to bop him on the back of the head again. Which is 9, which doesn't.
Miss. Jenny, your turn.
All right. I'm gonna go to attention.
So you still have advantage because you're still
Yeah.
flanking.
10 or nat 20.
Is that a
Nat
nat
20?
20?
Yeah.
Good.
Natty baby.
Excellent. So that means you're going to automatically do 8 damage plus another d8, and then add in your damage bonus.
So 8 plus 5, that's 13 plus
5 plus 5.
18.
So that's 18.
18.
Now you get your second attack with advantage.
16.
That would be a hit.
Nat 20 again?
Did you?
Nat 20 again.
Wow. All right, roll that damage.
Do it, do it, do it. 8
Another-
plus 5, so 13 plus 5, another 18. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Move John up to opposite of you.
Like here.
Yep.
Okay.
And he's going to, he sees this, actually I'm going to make a roll. No, he doesn't know any better. So he swings with his axe. And he hits. Good job, John. And John. John with the
MVP. John is the MVP.
Okay. So John hits it with the axe. And then troll. So 1 on John, 1 on you, 1 on Jordan. Here's John. John lives. Jenny. That's going to be a hit. Jordan. Oh, the pain and suffering of a net.
Let's go.
There's so
Okay,
many
Jenny, let's do
systems.
yours first. That's not bad. 8 damage. Jordan, you must suffer. 7 plus 12 is 19, plus 4 is 23. He hits you. He claws you hard.
Oh, all right. I don't know. I just knocked over the tree.
Okay. So, 36, 46. He looks very, very hurt after that series of brutalizations that you guys gave him last round, but he's still standing.
Okay.
And now it is the top of the order.
All right. I'm gonna get really pissed off, and then as a bonus action, I'm gonna cast Mass Healing Word on.
Ooh.
John didn't get hit, right?
No, he did not.
Okay, so the two of us,
Okay.
which is 1d4. We each get 1d4 plus
What is it plus your wisdom
my
modifier?
spellcasting ability. So plus 6.
Wow.
Okay, so we each get 7 back.
Okay.
And then, also pissed off that my spiritual weapon didn't do anything. As an action, I'm gonna take it down because it's concentration.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to cast. Where did it just go? Hold on.
Is Mass Healing Word a bonus action?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast. Okay, I don't know where it went, but I'm gonna cast Spirit Guardians at 3rd level.
What does Spirit Guardians
No.
even do?
Hold on. I just
We'll
lost
find
it.
eventually.
I just lost it. Give me 1 second.
For those of you following along at home, Spirit Guardians is a spell. Let's see what it does. Dun, 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 dun. Who
Okay.
can find it first? Fill with a book and paper. Or got it.
Okay, go ahead.
Page 278 of the Player's Handbook. Spirit Guardians. 15-foot radius. You call forth spirits to protect you. They flit around you to a distance of 15 feet for the duration. If you're good or neutral, their spectral form appears angelic or fey. If you're evil, they appear fiendish. And that's kind of dope. When you cast a spell, you can designate any number of creatures you can see to be unaffected by it. An affected creature's speed is halved in the area. And when the creature enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, it must make a wisdom save. On a failed save, the creature takes 3d8 radiant damage. Good lord. Or 3d8 necrotic if you're evil. On a successful save, the creature takes half. Okay.
Playtime's over, and then I'll
so
just.
who are you excluding?
I'm excluding John,
And-
her, and I.
Yeah, so
obviously.
basically you're just focusing
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
just
troll.
focusing in on the one person that we're beating up.
Things take his soul.
Playtime's over, children.
Wow.
And I'm just gonna drop it. Centered on him, so it's 15 feet in every direction from him.
That is huge. Okay. So, actually, it doesn't have to make this roll until it starts
Yeah,
its
until it
turn there.
starts its turn
Okay.
there.
So it will make that roll on its
Yeah.
turn. So in the
Yeah,
meantime,
wisdom,
it's
that's
your
wisdom.
turn.
Yeah. Meantime, it's your
All
turn.
right. Let's go for that. 9 plus 6.
15.
That
or
won't hit.
17 plus 6.
Yeah. That'll hit. All right, roll damage for the first one, and then do your second.
2 plus 5.
7.
7.
Okay. Roll your second attack. Still have advantage.
15 plus 6 or 5 plus 6.
Okay. The 15 plus 6 will hit. Roll.
4 plus 5. 9.
Okay. All right, John. John realizes that maybe his torch would help. So he holds the torch out, not doing much damage, but just holding the torch out at the troll, and the troll's like, "Argh."
Fire.
Okay, now the troll has to make the save. No. Your spell save DC is higher than an 11, I'm
It's a
assuming?
14.
Okay, he fails. So
Alright, let's
now
go.
you can roll that whopping 3d8 damage.
1 plus 8 plus
So
6.
15 total.
15. And then
16 and 15 is 31. Yep. So you call upon these spirits, and the area lights up with this spectral force of like little mini angels that are flying around this thing, and the troll seems so completely overwhelmed and confused, and it's as they pass through him, he seems to like suffer pain, and he's racked with pain, and then he falls down and he collapses.
let's go.
Top of the order, your turn.
All right. I still have my torch.
Yes,
with
you
me.
do.
I'm just gonna sick it on him and just try to burn him.
Okay. You go over and torch him.
Yes.
Jenny, what do you do?
Light him up.
Okay, I want to try to just like two-handed just sink the sword right into him.
Okay.
In the center.
No roll necessary. You sink it into him. You're burning him. John is like, burning him. And basically, after like one round, this troll isn't moving. John keeps burning him. He like lights the torch around different parts of the troll, and the troll's skin like bubbles and stuff, and it doesn't seem to be moving. It's a putrid smell, because the troll itself smells like a diaper or an outhouse, and then now it's the smell of like burning
Rotting
hair
flesh.
and flesh. So just to play it safe, John like pulls his blouse up over his face. He's like, keep burning it. We don't want it to come back. He's like, why would there be a troll here? And he's coughing. So after like a minute, this thing's like torched. And you guys back away. Medvin runs over and he's like, what was it? And he's like, oh, what a putrid stench. Oh. And he looks and he looks at John and he's like, is that a troll? And John's like, yes. He's like, brother, I haven't seen one since we were kids. And those trolls, remember when we were little kids and Father was working at that one place, and he like tells a story about trolls coming out of the hills. He's like, it's got to be 20 years ago. Oh, I haven't seen a troll in ages. What would bring a troll out here? There's no caves. There's no. Oh, have you seen trolls while you've been traveling?
No. we
And Medvin's
haven't.
like, come away from this thing. Let's go back to the camp. Oh. So you guys go back to the camp, and John walks down to the little creek and like splashes water on his face and his hands and like kind of washes off, and Medvin's like, what? I haven't even heard of trolls being in this area. What an odd, strange thing. Why would this happen?
Are there mountains nearby here? Hills? anything?
Not close. Closer to Kadimki Kala, yes. But there's no, I mean, just little hills like where we are now. Nothing big enough where trolls would cave.
Did the troll come from the direction that we're headed to Kadimki?
In fact, it came from yes, that would be the north. But remember, you're still talking about like 30 miles. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
crazy far still.
Yeah.
Like you got another day of travel.
Mhm.
So you could not probably remember even hearing about a troll coming that far out into open land, away from like a possible nesting place, away from caves or caverns. It just doesn't seem like something very likely for this particular region. So as you guys kind of recoup, Medvin, is talking to his brothers. He's like, we shouldn't just go to sleep. we should have some kind of a watch
That
in
would
case
be a
there's
good
more.
idea.
And John's like, he's like, let's build a smaller fire just kind of over there, just so we have, just in case any more are coming from there. So he grabs some of the wood, he scoops up some of the little cinders from the fire into one of the clay bowls and kind of carries it over there and grabs some tinder and just makes like a little fire and stuff. Once it's going, he kind of comes back. He's like, maybe whoever's on watch could just throw a log on that fire every once in a while too, just so we have a little more presence. So Medvin's like, well, I'll stay up for the first watch. John's like, good, I'm tired. And he goes into the big tent. The younger brother goes in the big tent. Medvin checks in with the women, and he's like, I would offer you space, but our tents are pretty full. He's like, but of course you're welcome to set up your bedrolls here near us and stay close to the fire. Would you want to take one of the watches? Thought we could divide them up into like first, second, third watch.
Sounds good.
Good. So he tends the fire. You guys kind of set up your bedrolls. And the first watch goes uneventfully. Medvin wakes you up, and he's like, I'm gonna turn in. I've kept both of the fires going.
All right, thank you.
So he crawls into the bigger tent.
Okay. I'll just like make sure everything around here is okay.
Okay.
Then I'll just like take a log over to
Okay.
the fire over there.
All right. So throughout your shift, you kind of just keep an eye out, walk back and forth. You have a torch handy just in case. Make a d20 roll.
8.
Okay. Nothing really disturbing. Your time goes by. You're kind of getting tired, ready for your own sleep and stuff so that you can recoup. You wake up, Capella. You're rested. She wakes you up. Same thing. The wood supply is kind of running low because you're feeding 2 fires, but you manage to kind of like stoke the fires, and while you're going back and forth, you gather some like sticks and stuff to kind of keep it going. Make a d20 roll.
11.
Okay. Same thing. Morning comes. People kind of wake up a little bit at a time. They start, stoking the main fire. They have some fruit. They pull out like a loaf of bread and cut it up and share it with you guys. And before too long, everybody's up and around. You guys haven't managed to get your long rest in. So you feel pretty much recuperated, and you take some time to recoup your prayers and settle your mind. And it's probably, not late morning, but probably by 9 a.m. Morning's well underway, and they're starting to pack up the stuff. And they're like, well, time to travel.
Would you like us to go out in front of you, maybe in front and behind?
We would love to travel with you, certainly. The more the merrier, and probably the safer. So they gather up their stuff, and they load up what they have. You notice that basically the women each kind of have a water skin and a large sack kind of over their shoulder with food. The men are carrying kind of the basic tools. The tents are rolled up, the bedrolls, that kind of stuff. So they all gather up. Even the kids have stuff to carry. They have little baskets that they carry that are kind of slung over their arm. So you guys start making your way. And the first 4 hours, all of morning, even into the early afternoon, are pretty uneventful, pretty decent, but a slow pace. You guys are on horses, so you're basically just clop, clop, clop. You're just going slow because they're not on horses.
Do you want to each stay to one side of them, just flanking both of them, just in case anything else happens like last night?
So you kind of maintain that lineup, that marching order, and you travel for yet another 4 hours with absolutely no problems. You don't encounter anyone because you're not on a road, but at a certain point, you see up ahead that there's like a small mound. Kind of like if you had like a boulder and there was dirt piled around it. So like you could see like on the top of the hill, it's like the dirt's come off probably from like erosion, and then you can see stone, but then the rest of it is like dirt and grass has grown around it. But it's like kind of an egg-shaped, like the top half of an egg mound. And it just doesn't seem to fit with like the normal landscape in this area.
Do you want to like stop everybody?
Yeah, I'll just call it to the attention, like, yes, we find kind of strange that mound over there. You may continue if we wish. We wouldn't want to hold you up, but Aryan are quite the curious type.
Medvin looks at what you're looking at, and he's like, that is strange. I haven't seen anything like that. Be careful. If you don't mind, perhaps you could just escort us around that, and we could wait for you a little bit to the north.
Okay. Of course.
I just don't want to endanger the children.
Of course.
So you guys kind of go around it ways, and then you kind of come back north. And you find this like decent grove of trees, and they just kind of break there, and they're like, we'll stop and wait here and have some food.
We'll be as quick as possible. Then we'll tie
Okay,
up our
so you
horses.
guys ride back. You get to this mound, and as you get closer to it now, it's probably about 12 feet tall total. So it's not like a mountain or anything. It's just like a weirdly symmetrical hill. There's a couple trees nearby where you can tie up your horses. So you do, and you're looking at this hill. And it's kind of just a very symmetrical, domed shape hill where there's rock at the top.
Do we want to walk like around it and then start to go up it, I guess, if we can't find anything?
Yeah.
We're just looking for if like it looks disturbed or moved at all.
It actually doesn't. It looks very undisturbed, like as if stuff has grown up around it. Both of you make investigation rolls.
16.
10.
Okay. You're kind of both circling around it. To you, it just looks like maybe a boulder was here or something was here, and then vegetation and dirt kind of over time grew up around it. You're looking at it, and as you walk around it, you're like, this is not natural. This does not look man-made. And you notice, actually, as you're kind of walking around it, that this is not natural. This looks man-made. You notice as you're looking around it that there's actually stone. Like, you notice other parts where erosion has happened, and you see more stone. And as you're standing at the base of it, looking up at the top, even though it's like 12 feet tall, you could climb up it very easily. So you kind of go up towards the top, and you notice the top, which looked like maybe you thought was like a boulder, is not a boulder. It's stone. Like man-made stone.
I'll just call this to our attention.
Okay.
Like this is something man-made up here.
Someone had to have put it here. Could it be possible they're hiding something under it?
I don't know.
Maybe, what if we attempt to push it over?
Okay.
You don't feel like it's gonna move because when you,
Yeah.
you climbed up it to get to the top.
So.
It's solid, like it's stone.
Maybe, can we try like wiping off more of the
Sure.
grass and dirt?
Yeah. So just with your bare hands, you're able to pull off like a lot of the stuff on it, and as you excavate it, you notice that like there's actually like lines, like seams, like in this kind of fashion that there are seams between big bricks, except not like that. It's more like it looks like maybe each part of this dome was cast in stone with some kind of stone, like almost like structurally. It almost reminds you of like the dome on top of a building, like how there would be a dome structurally.
Maybe we could try to strike it.
Like to get into it.
Yes, it could be possible. If we wear away to it at least, there might be something within it.
Okay. We're just gonna hit it.
I don't know if I really have. I'm not gonna like swat at it with my sword, but I think you might have a better time trying to
Okay.
break it.
I'll just take my hammer and just hit it.
Okay, go ahead. Make a roll with advantage.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. Roll damage. So you automatically max out the
Yeah.
first damage die.
Okay. But
So what
it's
is it,
just
D8 with your
a
hammer?
D10 if I'm using both hands.
Okay, great, D10. So
10.
roll a D10. So you max out the first D10, and then you add the second.
Okay. 8.
So 18 plus your
3.
strength
So 21.
bonus. So you're like, okay, why not? Boom! Both of you make a deck save.
I knew it. Hold on.
You hit this thing really hard,
Natural 20.
and the
or
stone
roll 20.
cracks.
3.
So it's for them to be at our dexterity.
Yeah, you had your saving throw.
So it's 6.
And we both die.
So you go, boom! And you're like, well, and the dome collapses. Like it collapses, and you guys both fall.
Great.
You fall. And we'll find out what happens next
There's gonna be a next.
when Jennie and Jordan land on the B team. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, for liking and supporting us. See you next time.